Hey guys, Random Andrew here, doing some random things, and as far as what I'm doing in this video goes, it's pretty random compared to my normal. I am out to try my first time fishing in a very long time, so long that you might as well even just go ahead and say my first time fishing, okay? I mean, we're going back to when I was young, fishing with my nanny, my mom's mom, fishing a couple times with my dad. But I think when I was a kid, I probably used a fishing pole more to fly a kite than I did to try and catch fish. Now, this is an integral skill I think that we should all know, especially as Canadians, even Americans, big on fishing. It can do a lot for you. So where am I? Maybe not the best of conditions. I might check a few more spots before I settle on where I'm gonna actually fish. I don't expect to catch anything today, because have a look at this. This is the Kettle Creek. I'm at Fulton's Bridge. You can see it right there, kind of green and sticking out through the trees. I've been told it's a pretty decent little fishing spot, but the river's a bit swollen right now. You can even hear an overflow into the Kettle and just gushing over there. But I figured I'd just try a few casts, try and get used to it and bring you guys along for the adventure. But what I'm walking in, this is all quite soft. Got the e-bike up there. But I figure while I'm stopped, I might as well show you guys the gear. Oh yeah, you can see where my footsteps are. There's water coming out of wherever I'm standing. So, probably gonna find a different spot. I seen another spot just the other side of the bridge. I think I'm gonna check that out. Might follow this little trail down and see if there's a spot down there too. I just pictured this to be the spot where I'd be doing my fishing. So we're gonna change locations, and then we'll get into the gear and I'll show you what I'm working with today. But a real quick shot of the SOG bag. I might do a review of this. If you guys want to see a review, if 3 people can comment and say review that SOG bag or something along those lines, we'll get into that. It actually is really nice. And there's the fishing equipment. We'll take a closer look in a minute. Let's get somewhere a little less soggy. Alright, so we went from over there. I went down this other side of the creek. Couldn't get down because it's kind of washout and just not a spot for an e-bike. I went and I checked out a spot just on the other side of this bridge. But the road to get down to it says no trespassing. We don't want to be trespassing, do we? So I'm thinking this hunk of dirt right here, we're gonna head on down there. I think that's where I'm just gonna practice doing just a little bit of casting from. Okay. Alright, to show you guys what I'm working with today. Nothing fancy. Keep in mind, this is far from a professional fishing video. This is just me trying to get used to being out here on my own, casting a rod into the water. And if I happen to hook a fish in this flooded condition, also get practice with safely removing it from the hook and tossing it back, because I don't plan on catching anything, and I definitely not keeping anything right now to be able to catch fish for food. That's another trip altogether. I'm going to be getting some help from some friends like Clarence from insert Clarence's current channel name here. Sorry, buddy. And then a few others. I'm thinking Southwest Tuber probably want to come out and do some fishing too. It seems like it's right up his alley. So let's take a look at what I'm working with today. Nothing fancy, but it's going to get me started. All right, first off, this one here is just a, yeah, I already stuck it in the mud. It's from Tebco. It's a telescopic, just add water. And Clarence has got it set up with one of these guys right here. I think I'm going to try that first because it's ready to go. It's good to go. This one here still needs something on it other than a weight sinker. But it's a Metrics 20. And who makes it again? Quantum, I think. Yeah, Quantum. It's a 6'6" rod. 6'6". It's got 8-pound test on it and frickin' mud. Can you guys believe that? I haven't even used it yet and I already stuck it in the mud. That's not a good sign. And of course I got my little fishing stool, got a box of goodies donated by Clarence, and of course I got my knife in case I actually have to cut a line or something, right? Just have it handy. Oh yeah, I picked these up, fishing gloves. because I don't like touching fish. I can just hear you guys now. Just get used to it. It's a fish. Anyways, put you guys on the tripod. I'm gonna get set up and we're gonna do some casting here. So just about set up ready to start casting. Had an issue with the telescopic rod. Kind of glad you guys didn't see it. But you hear that? All of a sudden I'm surrounded by like motorized version of Lord of the Flies, Lost Boys or something. The Lost Boys of Elgin County. These guys are just owning this hill. It's actually pretty cool. Watch this guy in the blue. I don't want to zoom in too far to give anybody away, you know, if they should or shouldn't be out here. That's been pretty cool so far. See what I mean? Just owned it. Let's see if we get one more and then back to fishing. Pretty good though. Never got to have fun like that when I was young. I asked one of the kids where they're from. I'm not gonna say where, because I don't want to sell anybody out. But those boys must have rode a good ways to get out here. And now they're just owning the countryside. And that's, you know, I would so much, any day, if you live out in the country and you see kids doing this, don't be the dick that calls and complains. At least they're not sitting on cell phones. These guys are just ripping it up. Pretty cool. So, back to fishing. So I went to start getting this guy ready. And I had an incident with the line. It was doubled over and it wasn't trying to reel properly. So I'm going to put it aside. We're going to start with the new one. Alright, try and show you guys. All I did was switch this guy over. Clarence had put this one on the other rod for me. So I just switched him over to here. Bear with me, try not to laugh. First cast in at least a couple of decades, alright? Didn't feel like it went that far because it's still not that heavy. Not to be said that these efforts are in vain either, because I've seen fish jump, but I've heard fish jump since I've been standing here. So there is something to be caught, it's just whether they're biting or not. Yeah, these first few casts, just kind of to get me used to it a bit. You all know I'm not a fisherman by any means. And I got a pretty good soundtrack while I'm out here. Oh, that felt like something. Mind you, the second this hits the water, it just shoots downstream, so I'm throwing up that way and kind of reeling across. Don't know if there's much to be said for that. You gotta admit, that does look pretty fun, eh? Back to fishing. Just waiting for the dirt bike kids to leave. Hope everything's in frame all right. It's a really, really soft bank I'm standing on. You ready? This will be the good cast. Tell you, not even a nibble, but it gives me peace of mind knowing that I'm out here trying at least and getting used to casting the fishing rod. Simplest thing ever to any normal fishing person. To me, it's new again. Trying to remember to reel it in slow. Give that lure time to sink down a little bit maybe. And catch a snag. And catch a snag. That's the thing I remember that I hated the most about fishing. Now I gotta deal with that. Okay, that was a good snag, by the way. You don't get any points for that. Oh, soaker. I don't know, that might have actually been a fish. Ooh, that was a good catch. What I'm trying to do is wait for the current to pick it up enough. Just tension on the line. So right now I'm actually aiming right across. I know roughly how long it takes me to reel it in and how far the current's carrying the lure. I'm thinking, where would a fish be? Maybe in the middle of the creek. That's where I'd be if I was in that water, because that's where the current takes you. So is that where I'm supposed to aim? I don't know. Beginner's perspective, right? And then just bringing it in back nice and slow. I really don't know a technique or a procedure. I just know it's kind of nice to be out here. And this whole fishing, it's giving me a good excuse to be out here. And I'm enjoying it. Aside from the brief interlude from the dirt bike kids, Craig would have been so pumped. He would have been like, dirt bike kids! But brother Craig had kind of a surgery today. Remember I told you guys about his kidney stone problem? Well, he'll be back in action soon. His kidney stone apparently has been evicted. Big news. Everybody's probably like, but I mean, think about poor Craig going through that. So yeah, brother Craig will be back in the game soon. I know he wants to try getting into fishing too. We do a lot of stuff as brothers, because you know, that's what brothers do. As well with the fishing, you guys might even see more of Chewy, because he's big into fishing. He likes his fishing. And no, I'm not completely opposed to advice, criticism. Just try and keep it positive, that's all. Oh, look, we caught something. Alright, this one's going 3/4 of the way across. Watch closely. Halfway across. You guys are seeing my reeling speed. You think I'm reeling it in too quick? I know I'm not going to catch anything. Like, how many fish are you going to find in this water? This is flooded compared to normal. Let's see. I'm not good enough to know if I'm catching snags there or if I'm getting nibbles. I've definitely felt some. Telling you, there's something going on out there. That can't all just be running across the bottom of the creek that it's feeling. Maybe it is. I don't know. Oh, I just had another lovely snag. You know, that's one thing I really disliked about fishing when I was younger, is constant snags, fishing in rivers. And this time, that snag Took the end of the line. So I'm gonna have to put something new on here. Try it again. That sucks though. That really sucks. Can't do much about it. Now, Clarence said the line that's on here should be sufficient. Should be good enough. He was with me when I bought the rod. He's got one of these actually. And I'm wondering if maybe it isn't good enough. Because it didn't take much and it snapped. I'm not usually one to just go all willy-nilly and break stuff. Breaking things is not the solution. I think there's a bug on my sunglasses. Yes, there is. What the heck? Nope. Reflection. There's one of them fancy fishing rods. Yeah, and I guess we'll go with... The water's really flowing. I guess it would probably be low visibility. So I'm just gonna guess and put one of these guys on here. Similar to what was there. And I'm gonna come back here in warm weather. I bet you I can get that guy back. Oh, that barely fits on here proper. Yeah? I don't know. I'm still new, right? Work with me, guys. So even though I may have lost a lure right there, it's not a complete loss of a day because I'm still getting out. I'm getting some practice at casting a line out. And it's practice. It gets me out of the damn house. And I think just about any excuse to get me out of the house these days is a good thing, right? Just being out of the house is a good thing. And yeah, I've come back over to this side as opposed to that side because I think when I'm over here, I've got less snag potential because it's coming in here instead of over there. Over there is just gnarly. Keeps going that way. I'm very precariously standing on this edge. If I'm not careful, you guys are going to have a real good laugh when I slide into the creek. Okay, see if we can't get it to go that way, not that way. And as you can tell, I do need to practice, even just simply casting a lure out into the water. I need to practice. And maybe on the vlog someday we'll catch us like a river monster. But first I gotta learn to cast the damn thing out like properly. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell just how new I am at this. But, you know, like I said, you'll see a lot of casting in this video, or by now you'll have seen. And you'll probably see no fish caught before the end of this video. But what you're going to see is somebody who's actually trying to learn how to fish. And I will. I'll get it. I'll catch me a fish, or I don't know. How many pound of fish can you expect to catch over the season? Depends on where you're going and what you're doing, I think. But I'm gonna sip a little coffee, having a little break, and then try again. And maybe we'll get a nibble. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to put that in the video if I actually had caught fish. Okay. Well, on my little break here for coffee, I thought I'd show you guys what's going on with this rod. Obviously, I took the lure off the end of the line, and I've also got two fixes. One of these guys has come loose. It's telescopic, right? So it all sleeves inside each other. And without that on there, this one fits loose. So I'm gonna put it back, restring it later when I get home, so I didn't get to use it. Now this rod here, although it's not fancy, not meant, just heard another fish. It's not a fancy rod. It's not like super uber expensive. You can grab them from Snappy Tire pretty cheap. But this one belonged to Craig's dad, and I'd like to have it functional. We're approaching probably about 7 or 8 o'clock. Thinking 8, and I just had an idea. Almost got a branch. One more. There's one. Well, I guess I should probably call it a day. Supper's probably getting prepared at home, and I should be there to eat it, don't you think? It's gonna be getting dark here shortly. I'm actually surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's past 8 o'clock. But yeah, Fulton's Bridge. I actually tried fishing right off it, as you guys just seen there, and maybe it needs something heavier to pull it down in the water more. There's so much current. It's just picking it up, and the lure's skimming across the top of the water. So the very last thing you would have seen me doing was lowering the rod, which was letting the lure go down in the water a little bit further, and then it would just come right back up. So I'd lift the rod, let the lure swing back towards me, because like it's a good ways up there, right? But of course, I did not really expect to catch a fish. I thought it would have been cool if I just did a sheer luck to show you guys, hey, I caught a fish my first time trying, but that's not discouraging. There's a few more places to try. I know Axford's Pits, Lake Margaret, whatever you want to call it. There's Pinafore, and it's definitely worth a try. So I'm gonna pack everything up, ride the trusty e-bike back home, have this video up in the next few days. Yes, you're gonna see more fishing videos, because I think I'm going to enjoy it, and it's one of the random things that I'm going to end up doing. So, but there's still going to be other videos, lots of explores. Anytime I know about an abandoned place or a lost place, I will do my best to try and find a way to discover it or go explore it, because a lot of things have been discovered. Jeez, imagine if you could do that. Travel around the world making discoveries of things nobody knows about yet. That's a dream. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Like I said, any advice, any comments, criticism, just try and keep it positive, you know, encouragement. I'm still very, very new to fishing, but I'd like to be able to have that ability, you know what I mean? It's something nice, it's something cool. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Wish me a safe drive.